Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. It's been such a long time. Feels like 10 years. How are we doing? I was just telling myself that this is my self-care I want to talk about. I'm not even selling the market because my eyes look like they need some care. But I need to get it done. Same here. Missed you too. Missed you so much. Grateful to be back. Thank you so much, ma'am. Appreciate. So grateful to be back. Alright, so I'm thinking, should we wait for one or two people to join? But maybe we should just proceed because this is like a 10 to 15 minutes thing, and anyway, it's going to be saved in the stories, so people can come back and watch it. All right. So today we're talking about self-care, designing an intentional self-care plan. You know, self-care is something that we women tend to neglect a lot because we naturally derive joy from taking care of other people. Okay, sorry, 1 minute. I think I should put this on my status like I usually do. Sorry, 1 minute. All right, so like I was saying, taking care of ourselves as women is something that we're usually not very, very intentional with because women are born nurturers. Naturally, we are naturally nurturers. What that means is that we derive joy in taking care of people and taking care of things. So much so that the very act of being a caregiver or a carer, makes us feel happy and fulfilled. And in the long run, as we feel happy and fulfilled, we forget that it takes a filled cup to be able to pour. So sometimes we often not know how burnt out we are till we have gotten to the very end, or till we're at that point where things are really, really bad, except we're more intentional. And I know that when you meet a woman who is also a career person or a professional, a lot of times you don't have that time, and you're like, who's self-care help? But today I want to talk to us about some simple ways we can inculcate self-care into our plan, sustainable ways we can inculcate self-care into our plan and make it part of what we do so that we can be better we can be better present, we can be better caregivers, we can be better carers, because the truth is that it takes only a filled cup to give. That's the truth. All right, so I'll just say out some points. I'll say the three basic and then I'll give examples. Then I'll other examples. The first thing is, for a woman, you must have a time for yourself every day. That one is a must. You're running a 24-hour schedule, out of which you probably sleep between 4 to 8 hours depending. It's not very likely that you sleep 8 hours, except you're on a holiday. So you are running a very tight schedule, okay, and it can be quite demanding. So you need to find a way, a system that helps you rejuvenate, come back to yourself every single day. even if it means 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something that helps you, recollect yourself when you're not doing anything. Anything, well, not anything mechanical. You could just be lying down on your bed, maybe visualizing, imagining, or just journaling, but you're spending time. The important thing is that you're spending time with yourself. I call it daily dates. Having a date with yourself every day. Those are points and times when you can get to ask yourself questions. How did my day go? What happened today that I particularly liked? Why did I like it? What happened today that I did not like? Why didn't I like it? Why did I react that way? So you're not only rejuvenating yourself, you're unearthing yourself, you're interacting with yourself, you're having a date with yourself, you're getting to know yourself better. So that when certain things happen again the next day or the next time, you're better able to respond from a place of self-awareness. So one of the self-care practices you must practice as a woman is that you have to be very intentional about spending time daily with yourself. Secondly, you must do something for yourself that you like every week. It mustn't be expensive. It doesn't even have to cost money. It could be taking a walk around your neighborhood. It could be doing a movie. It could be cooking yourself your favorite meal. It could be reading a novel or reading a book. Whatever it is, you need to find what it is for yourself. There was a season of my life that what it was for me was volleyball, okay? And then there was a time that it was, right now I do a lot of movies. There was a time it was going to the cinema pre-COVID, okay? So you need to find out for yourself what it is. Sorry, I have a little, my nostrils are blocked, but I'll be fine. You need to find out for yourself what you need to do every week, what refreshes you and makes you feel good. You need to find it. You need to find it and make an appointment to do that with yourself every day. This is what happens. There are 7 days a week. The principle of self-care says that the principle of self-care runs on the premise that out of an entire box of time, you make out time for yourself. So out of an entire box of one day, you have time for yourself. So after you make time for God, you make time for yourself, okay? Out of the entire box of 1 week, you make out at least 1 day for yourself. And out of the entire box of 1 month, you make out at least still 1 day for yourself. Now, for a day, it could be short. It could be 5, 10, 15 minutes. For a week, it could be 3 hours. You understand? But for a month, it could still be around 3-4 hours, but something on a longer or greater magnitude. For example, you could decide what it is for yourself. You can decide that every month, I want to do spa. I want to go to the stadium and play. Even the weekly one can be, I want to take a walk or I want to take a run. Every month, it can be that I want to go to a luxury hotel and just sit down, buy myself a good drink or a good meal, and just allow the breeze of the environment touch my skin while I drink. It could be going for swimming, yes. It could be going to the beach. It could be going to an adult play center and playing your heart out, like there's no tomorrow. Find a way to reconnect with yourself every day, every week, every month. Now, the fourth is in every quarter or at least every 6 months. I always encourage women, as much as you can, if you're able to, find some time away to yourself. You can decide to have a weekend getaway. In fact, this is what I advise. For starters, you can do a 6 months. So usually there is summer for the kids. So you can plan your own travel around the summertime with the kids. And then you can also have your own personal travel time. So that way you get out of your environment at least twice a year. Once with the family and once by yourself. Alright? So, it's very, very important that you build a system that enables you. Enables you do this. And you don't just build that system. Do what you actually enjoy. At the beginning, it might mean you will do a lot of trial and error. But along the way, you will get to know what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Now, the next question to doing this is when you sit down and say, okay, I want to do this monthly, I want to do this weekly. You need to, for it to be practicable, for you to be able to bring that dream, that thing to life, you have to create the environment that will be conducive for it. This is what I mean. You need to sit down and itemize the resources that you need to make that thing happen. Financial resources, human resources. So for example, if you want to take out 10 to 15 minutes of your time every day, it might be that you want to do that at a particular time every day, say maybe by 6 p.m. every day, or at a particular time like when I come back from work every day. So the resources you likely need for that might be sitting down to discuss with a support system, maybe your help at home or your husband or someone, and say, okay, and every day by this particular time, I just want to have some time to myself. Please, could you stand in for me? You create that system. So when that time comes, they know that, okay, I'm going to be able to I need to do this. So she can have some time to herself. What that also means is that, for example, for me, I love journaling during my me time. To make that time great for me, I make sure that I have my journals always ready. So, and then I also love taking Nescafe coffee. I love it. So now that is a cost. It means that I need to plan towards it. So buying Nescafe coffee is actually part of my monthly budget, because I sit down and I take it every other day. Like if I have to take, I try not to take it every day. So I take it every other day. So it means that I'm buying at least 12, to maybe 15. You understand? So in the spirit of making every single thing count, I put it in and I know, okay, I'm going to do this. So by the time I make those resources available, when the time comes, I've created the structure that enables me to do that. I'm not going to struggle over it. So I have I have a system that makes it possible for the kids, for example, to be taken care of while I go to do the things I need to do. If I want to do a particular thing at a particular time, I have the thing available. For example, you might say that you want to relax with movies. You have to plan ahead for that. Okay, I want to subscribe to Netflix, or I want to watch a particular channel on DSTV. You could say I want to go to the beach maybe every month. You need to plan towards that and make that part of your budget. What do you want to do at the beach? Do you want to go and do horse riding? I calculate how much you need for that event to make it a success for you and put it in your monthly budget. It could be that you could actually say that, okay, like for example, personally, I have a budget I call my groove budget. So I use that budget to do anything I want to do. The thing about that thing is that when the money finishes, it has finished. So I need to be very intentional. So there are some months that I do something very expensive and then I have to find cheaper or no cost alternatives for the rest of the week. Okay? But I make sure that the money is there. So you could say that for me now, having a very solid timeout means that I go to the beach, I eat shawarma at the beach, and I take horse ride like maybe like, that I think it costs about 2,000 or so. It could be that, okay, that's what you want to do. You put it down, you plan towards it. It could be that I want to do spa every month. Then you find out what the cost of it is and put it in. If there is anything that could hinder you, maybe you need someone to stay with your kids or something, you make sure that there is a support system available. It could be that I want to travel every 6 months. You plan towards it. If it means you save every month towards it, you do. So you need to prioritize self-care. The principle of self-care is paying attention to yourself. See, I learned this the hard way. Sam Adeyemi said, if you think that you are El Shaddai, you will soon discover that it is I shall die. You cannot do everything. You need to find a way to rejuvenate and rest. You need to take advantage of the support systems around you, and you need to find a way to have time for yourself and with yourself. Have a date with yourself. Know yourself better. So other things that you can do for self-care is declutter your life. Presently I'm currently doing that. Try as much as possible to remove the things that are not important. Both elements, things you can see and things you can't see, like feelings and all that. Don't carry around feelings that are not important. Declutter yourself of bitterness, of anger towards someone. Declutter yourself of hurt. Declutter if you need to talk to the person or send a message or write a letter you never sent to them, do it. Okay, just let the feelings, let it go. All right, simplify your life. The truth is that we feel like the things some of these things don't matter, but you see, these little things in a little way, they add up to creating a sort of I don't know what word would I use now. It's sort of the word is not coming, but it just fills us up. Okay, it fills us up, and a lot of times it's like, thank you Jesus, a feeling of bloatedness. You know, when you're bloated, it's not as if you are exactly have food, it's gas. So when you have all those things inside of you that are not important, thoughts that are not important, environment that is cluttered, office desk that is cluttered, things, I know. And as I'm talking to you, I remember I told myself, like, okay, I'm going to declutter my bag. I carry a lot of things to work, and usually I'm like, okay, I'm going to remove them. I'm going to remove them and all that. But I always make sure that, okay, whatever it is I'm carrying is something I'm really, really, really going to need. And I actually tell myself sometimes that I've really come a long way. Okay, so declutter, simplify your life. Then do something that energizes you. Exercise is very good. In all of these things that you do, one of the things you should do for self-care, do something that energizes you and fills you with life. Something that will help you laugh from the inside of you. It can be going for a comedy. It can be going for Alibaba's comedy. I remember there was a time in my life when I used to schedule, I think I was single then, I can't remember, maybe early part of my marriage, I would check upcoming comedies, or I would just tell myself that this month is for comedy, and I'll leave it blank, because I think it was in Abuja, because I know that I will surely see somebody that's going to do comedy, and I'll just find a way to pay. Do you understand? Or I'll just go on the internet or YouTube and dedicate 2 hours to watching skits and laughing my heart out. So do something that fills you with life. Stretch, run, do something that you love, something that will make you laugh from deep inside of you, something that will make you feel like a child again. All right. The third one is another way you can do a self-care is to occasionally or periodically take a long warm bath. Like, pamper your skin. Take care of your skin beyond going to the spa. Take care of your skin. One day decide to boil hot water and walk up a ladder on your body and gently let the hot water massage over your skin. If you have a shower, oh God, did I just say shower? If you have a shower, let it flow over you. If you have a bathtub, sit in it. Do you understand? Just let that warm bath, it does something to you. There's a way you can take a bath. I don't know how that thing happens, but there's a way you can take a bath. The hot water or the warm water will it will feel like it's seeping through your skin into your very soul. It can be soothing. So do that, periodically. Have a gratitude list. Have somewhere where you write at least 3 things you're grateful for every day. It will help you reflect on life and be more grateful. Instead of focusing on what is not working, it will keep your focus on what is working. And what that does is that you discover that things start to get better, because what you give attention to grows. So when you give attention to the wonderful things that are working out in your life, you will discover that wonderful things are happening. A lot of times, if you notice, people that complain a lot seem to always keep complaining because they shut the door on their blessings by complaining. The spiritual principle. Okay, so that's it. That is the principle of self-care. Another thing is to learn to remember that one reason I recommend doing your date time with yourself daily at the end of work is that it's a way for you to unplug from your day. For me, it's a way for me to disconnect from work, and reconnect with the second part of the day. All right, so it's something I encourage that you do every day. Besides that, find a way and a time to also unplug from social media. In fact, if you cannot do it at least for some hours every day, try to do it for at least a whole day. And in fact, I had a schedule that I was going to be on social media every time till I had to redo the schedule, and I left Wednesdays out. So I'm not, the fact, for everything that I do, my Wednesdays are free. So if you can't find at least 3 4 5 hours to upload from social media every day, find at least 1 day 2 days that you don't go. Nothing will happen, nothing will go wrong. It's almost how we know Nigeria is running. Don't worry, you would, if there is something you need to know, you will know. Just ask the Holy Spirit to always keep you in, because you know that you're doing the right thing. Okay, so find a way to unplug from things that are not important. Then another thing you learn to do is, you can learn to do something new, something that, trying out, there's something about the human mind. Trying out new things is actually very exciting for the human mind. Even for those who are afraid of new things, there's a way they can approach new things, and they'll actually look forward to it. Let me tell you why. We humans are wired to want varieties. We usually don't like to stick. As much as we say a lot of people don't like change, a lot of times we are wired to want variety. It's just that sometimes we'll try to have varieties within the same kind of thing. So attempt something new spots, new environments. Do something that fills you with joy. All right. Then dancing too is something you can do. That what I do it a lot. Just put on praise song and dance my heart out. By the time I'm tired, I take my bath and I paid attention to myself. And the beautiful thing about dancing is that I'm also praising God as I'm doing that. So it's not even about me. I'm just giving examples, all right? I've talked about journaling. I've talked about staying quiet in a still place all by yourself. Paying attention to you. You don't even need to think anything. You can just sit down, close your eyes, and just take a deep breath. Feel the breath go through you from outside, through your, what's this now called? Through your, I was going to say throat. It's not throat. Your bronchioles and all that, down to your lungs. Feel the air, fill your lungs up and breathe it out. Do you understand? Imagine yourself feeling pleasure from the crown of it to the soles of your feet. Just dream, think, see yourself in the future, living that kind of life you want to live, working in that office or having that business you want to have. See yourself, coming out of that car that you've always dreamt of having. See yourself doing that impact, creating that impact you've always wanted to create, amongst people. Just have that time to yourself and slowly do it. It's not a time for you to rush. Slowly do it. Like when I go to the beach, I like to always have some time to myself, and I just sit and I think. I allow the waves and the air and the breeze and everything touch me and get deep down into me. Taking a walk too is another thing you can do. Reflecting on your life. Enjoying a glass of wine, like non-alcoholic wine. Of course, I will emphasize that. I do coffee, but I know that very soon one day I'll start doing wine. Especially because I don't want to take anything for a long time. So, or just a box of chocolate. The whole idea is pay attention to yourself. And then finally, taking a nap, like sleeping. You could just decide that actually your weekly me time is taking 12 hours sleep. Yes, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be movie or any of those things. It can be sleep. It can be that this particular day I will sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, if you can afford it. So the whole idea of this thing is for you to pay attention, great attention to yourself, to your growth, because it's only a filled cup that can fill others. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. So I hope that this has been very interactive. So what you can do now is, if you have a planner, I think I'm going to design a planner very soon for Styledby Abba babes, so that we can be more intentional with our time. Something like what I use, because usually what I do is that I use a blank notebook to design my own planner. So you can put for the daily, under your daily plan, daily to-do list, you can write me time. Then you choose a day of the week that you want to have that time to yourself for your weekly day out. I call it my weekly timeout. And with that, you write it down on that day of the week. So when that day of the week comes, you know that that's what you ought to do. Then you also choose the day in the month. Usually what I do is that I choose a particular week, and then in that week I can do it any day. Usually Saturdays, but I don't like to get down to the nitty-gritty. I can say, okay, I want to do it in the last week of the month or the last Saturday of the month, and do that. And then if it's traveling, you write it down, you schedule it in your planner, and you walk towards it. You identify the resources that you need. So what you do is that you imagine yourself doing it and look at the possible interruptions that could come, or the possible hindrances that you would have that would affect you, that would make you or cause you not to have that thing as fully as you want, not to enjoy it as fully as you want. Identify what those things are and start to mitigate them ahead of time. That's how you plan for it. So you envision that there might be somebody that needs to be kept up to date on something. Ensure that everything that the person needs is available, so that they don't start cutting in on that time. Okay, you need money for it, you work towards it. You need time for it. Create the time you need for it and plan ahead, so that you don't get to that time and find out that you have so much to do that day that you don't even have time for that. No, I know that should be priority. In fact, I tell people that let's see the priority of life. God first, you as a person second. It sounds strange, but the truth is that maybe the Bible says love others as you love yourself. You can only give what you have. So God first, you, family, work. Okay? So on the day that, of course, this is how it is. But the truth is that in life to life, day to day, priorities change. For example, on a Monday morning, after praying, my priority is going to work. Now, how me as a person comes into that is that I ensure that I'm in a good frame to give my employer the best. Now, while at work, my priority is work. If my son calls from home and says, "Mommy, I need this," I can attend to him and say, "Okay, I'll get back to you." But I'm not exactly doing what he's asking me to do then, except it's something very serious, which by God's grace, to God's glory, it has never, my God has been faithful with that. Okay, so I call him back after work. What did you want? So a couple of times I've forgotten, so I write it down. In fact, he asked me for something today, and I forgot. And I was like, okay, I've noted it down that tomorrow we'll find a way to work towards it. So that's priority. So of course, at different times, priorities will change. But on the broad scale, is God first, you as a person second. So if you have a self-care plan for a day, try and make it priority after spending time with God. It's very important, because like I always say, you can only give when you are filled. All right, thank you so much for being part of this Instagram live. I trust this has been a blessing. The thing will be up for replay. Hopefully, the last one I did, I don't know, for some reason it didn't save, so hopefully this one will be up for replay, and you can go back and listen to it to get more value. Thank you so much, and have an amazing evening. Good night. And yes, my pastor is doing a program by 10 p.m. www.mixella.com/Covenant Christian Center. If you want to join us, that one is a spiritual program, but I also think it's a self-care thing, because when he does those meditations, he has a way of entering your soul, so you might want to join in. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Samadu, for your time. I really appreciate it. Have an amazing evening. Bye.